Mark.
I got questions.
Mark, take one.
Y'all ready?
You're
All right.
Born ready.
born ready.
So how do we get here?
Damn. How did we get here? Through the hundreds for sure. That was pretty much our connective tissue.
15 years ago.
Also 15 years ago.
16 years ago, honestly, probably.
Yeah. It was David's. It was both of our last day of school, but it was his last day of high school. I just came to Summit High in Fontana. He was graduating, so he was a senior. I was a junior, and I would see bro on campus like all the time, like wearing hundreds, and I was wearing hundreds, and we always kind of just like respect each other from a distance, like how you got this on, or how you got certain pieces, because I feel like at the time, like everybody's getting hundreds from like Zoomies.
Yeah, we had like the real.
We had like the real
Rosewood stuff.
Exactly.
Like,
So we had like all the good pieces. So we noticed it a little bit differently. And then like the last day of school, I think it was like one of the moments where we just like finally like saw each other again. It was like, yo, bro, like where are you getting your hundred stuff from?
Like, what's the deal with this,
like,
man?
Yeah, that's
like,
where you get your hundreds from?
Who do you know? Because I'm out here telling everybody your shit fake.
I'm like, nah, bro. My shit from the warehouse, bro. Stop playing with me.
He said, my dad knows them. And I'm just like, oh, got it. Okay, so you're in the space. And we kind of just clicked because off the rip of just being into the same shit.
Yep. Streetwear, bro. So, and it's funny because before that, we didn't really speak too much in high school. Like I said, we just see each other, pass by, give each other a little nod or up and down look of the fit and keep it pushing. But
keep it pushing.
He played football, I was playing basketball. Like we just really had no real crossover, on top of him being a year older. So, and I was new to the school at the time. So, with that being said, man, that was like step one. So we got here for our love of the hundreds, for sure.
Easy off the rip.
Yep.
Okay, so follow up on that. So what does Rosewood mean to you?
Damn.
We might have different, I think, answers for this one.
Yeah.
We were around at the same time, but also we both had our own individual routes to kind of get to that store. I think Rosewood to us means very similar things, right? Like the family build, the community, stuff that we're into, clothing, culture, just like all of that all in one spot, right? But I think I was working a job, so I'd be there, post 6 p.m., kind of tag along with that. Casey's kind of there throughout the day, hanging out with the store manager, Umi. I think you interned there for a bit as well.
Yep.
I never really interned at the store, but Rosewood, I think, to me, was just kind of a place to always go, as feeling like home, away from home is the idea. There's always something going on, meet some new people, interesting folk, and it just kind of built off of that. And then just everyone has their own story and their own individual, like, I guess, livelihood within that street.
Yeah. And for me, so I kind of piggyback off what bro said. I think for me it was more like a safe haven, like a getaway. Like I said before, I was even interning there. I would hang out there, just kind of like gathering information. Since being a sponge to meeting people, to shooting photos of people. Like that was I guess like the mid to end of the blog era, I would say. So I think like I got like the last. Maybe me and David both got the last good days of it, the good old days of it. So I feel like it was just like it was like our office, man. Like, like we you wanted to sit at home all day, so you just went to Rosewood and just hung out. And something always happened. Whether you meet the right person, to take the right photo, to get the right opportunity, to get the right job. It's like at that time, being around was like almost a currency to like how you got the job or got the opportunity, was people seeing you and being familiar. And then kind of taking like a moment to what we had in high school, like seeing each other enough to then be like, yo, what's good?
Yeah.
And,
what are we doing?
Yeah. Like he said, Umi was a big part of that to why we would come over there and feel comfortable because, the block also wasn't very inviting. You know what I'm saying? You can't just pull up, just be a casual. You have to really know somebody to feel real comfortable over there. So, I'm just blessed that, we both had liaisons to get us over there and things that like people respected from that were already OGs there. So when we came around, it was kind of like open the front door for us and just, let us be, let us hang, let us create. Yeah.
So what are some of y'all favorite memories of each other?
I got mine.
What's yours?
Probably the first time we hung out, which was you shot my senior photos.
A year later.
Yeah, shot my senior photos. So we hung out a year later, facts. Shot my senior photos. We shot it in like a random field, which is, I'm pretty sure his house is there now.
Yeah.
In Fontana.
Yep.
Shot my senior photos. I wore the hundreds sunglasses. I wore the hundreds short sleeve
Yeah,
button
the
up.
button-up,
Damn.
a red button up.
Yeah, I want a red
Yeah.
plaid button up that I used to wear all the time.
He did one of these.
I did all.
in the
Yeah, we
field.
had a.
It was hilarious.
Nah, chill. We had a whole moment. But yeah, that was like the first time we really chopped it up. And I think another core memory with me and bro is when we first went to Rosewood together. Bro drove, so he picked me up in his Volkswagen. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
A little two-door joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And we played Dom Kennedy all the way to LA and kicked it over there. And I don't remember what we did, but we pulled up.
Yeah, pull up.
And that was it.
I
Yeah.
think a core memory from mine is we were still trying to just always make our way out, right, to Rosewood and to the shop and to Fairfax in general, and just trying to be a part of the community because we saw, we were building slowly just friendships and new people looking out for us, being the kid right out of high school, and just being hungry to be creative in our space, right? Like I always had a camera on me, we always documented. Casey was working on his own thing as well. But a core memory for me was we were trying to figure out, it was All-Star Weekend in LA.
Oh, shit.
Dumping rain. I
remember this.
remember so much going on. Hall of Fame had
Listening party.
had an event, a black scale party, wasn't it?
And that was what Gilbert
Forte. It was
He's a
someone
rapper.
that
Yeah.
rapper, and I remember going there and it was dumping outside, and that night was full of action because
Yeah, it
like
was
there was so much going on there. And then I remember going back to the house and it was just storming, and that for some reason just stuck with me really hard because I know we both wanted to just be in the mix at all times, whether it's dumping outside, whether it's sunny, we gonna get to it.
Yeah.
So like I remember that memory pretty vividly.
Yep. One of the funnier parts of that is when Pops knew the pothole.
Oh yeah, we were driving in the storm, bro. Like literally driving. I remember I picked up your dad. Yeah, we
it
picked
was
up his
traffic.
dad. It
It
was
was
Kimball.
traffic, so my Pops started doing all the back roads, and then we driving, and David don't know the streets like that. No one knows the streets like my Pops would anyway. But David's driving, he's like turn here. We skipping all the traffic, and he drives. He's like slow down here, and then luckily because David was driving kind of fast. He's like, yo, slow down right here. David slows down, all you hear is doot doot. And it's like, we all start laughing because we're like, bro, the potholes in the street, you couldn't see him. He's like, he knew that was coming up. Like, we all just started dying laughing, like, this nigga know the whole joint.
Yeah, damn,
But-
good memory.
That was funny. But no, yeah, we was outside, man,
Yeah.
in a real way.
Yeah, that's a real memory right there.
So when it comes to collaboration, what makes something feel right for you?
Alignment for me, it really is that because I
Yeah.
think if you guys are on the same page and want to get together in a certain direction, collaborations are that, right? To me, collaborations are kind of sharing platforms, sharing communities, introducing each other to our own spaces, and how do we bring both of those worlds together. I think that's the ethos and the core of every collaboration. It should be, at least. If you're not thinking that way, you should.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how it feels the most organic and how it feels real and authentic. You'll see this collab feeling that way because we've known each other for so long that it only makes sense.
Yeah. Nah, I agree with Ro. And to that point, this collaboration is long overdue. This is only our second collab with the Hundreds, but it seems like it's like our fifth, because we've stayed so close. But timing and alignment on where we are creatively, where the brand is, like we done threw away plenty of designs, you know what I'm saying? And I think the timing is even more perfect now. So that alignment is very essential to collaboration and also having like an organic relationship and, and fanfare for who you're collaborating with, being interested in like the brand and knowing the story, Obviously, something's a little bit more left field, but I think in reality, doing your homework at least and, having some form of genuine personal interest to what you're collaborating with helps out tenfold. Being a fan of it also makes it easier to talk about it. So, yeah.
I agree.
I'm gonna add one thing, just so you get some like clear little sound bites for whatever shorter version.
Yep.
If y'all can describe like what this collab stands for in like almost almost some like concise statements and sentences, just be like, like this is family, like this is history. Or,
What did you just say earlier?
Oh, yeah, the story that told itself.
They wrote itself.
Yeah, I think for me, this collab just defines the story that just wrote itself. It's organic, it's real, it's true, it's growth. Like my brother is the CEO of his favorite brand, or our favorite brand growing up. Like,
CD.
oh, sorry.
Wait, you run that in here? It's just that like.
You were rubbing your leg.
Oh, my bad, bro. My bad. I'm just like, yeah. Yeah, I think this collaboration defines, a story that wrote itself. You know, my bro, we met through the hundreds in high school, and he's the creative director of our favorite brand growing up. And I have my own brand that's able to collaborate with one of my favorite brands growing up. So I think in reality, it's just like a true, organic, genuine relationship being displayed through product, creativity, storytelling. You know, and it's not doing too much because it's that easy for me and bro. We don't hang out every day, but you know, that respect and that love is always there between one another. So I feel like it's just showcasing in what the message says on the back of this, you know, this shirt, you know, from Rosewood with Love, because that's where the origin of this all started, from the hundreds itself, before we even start wearing it, to how we drew our love for the brand and for streetwear in general. This is like the moment that opened the door for us. So yeah.
And to add to that, just genuinely just storytelling. I think it's all facts, and that makes it easier for us to even just talk about it because it's all happened, it's all being worked on, it's all put in motion. We have an idea, we execute it, we've been doing this for years now, so when we get together, we're in different parts of our lives. Casey's running his own brand, I'm running the hundreds, and seeing how we, you know, just kind of do our thing throughout the fashion space and streetwear space, and then kind of coming again together to work on something. We're in a way different space than when we were a few years ago when we did our first collaboration.
100%.
And I think even the stuff that we're making, the product that we're designing, even's grown with us too.
Elevated,
And I think it feels that way in, you know, the Hundreds and Bricks and Wood Part 2, which like he said, it starts from Rosewood with Love, and that's really where everything started.
Yeah, so
We're here now.
growth, man, growth. The rose that grew from the concrete type
Facts,
shit.
yeah.
One more on the friendship perspective, what does it mean to go from the hallways to the heads?
Go ahead.
Man, I don't know. I think you know, from our relationship from high school to now, to be completely transparent, like it feels the same. It doesn't feel different. Like obviously the optics and the positions are different, and like the responsibilities are different, but it just feels like, you know, it's almost like just kind of like getting that, like, you know, that youthful energy out, because we're just a fan. We really enjoy what we do. You know, we're fans of the process. We're fans of, you know, we like putting in the work. We really enjoy the work. It's tough, obviously, at some points, but I think in reality, it's like, it just showcases the growth again, you know, just like where we are in life. But in terms of our dynamic on the friendship level, it's like we've literally never had a falling out. We've never had arguments. We've never had any type of like, you know, real, you know, friction between each other. It's just been support, no matter what he did. If I call him, he gonna answer, he gonna, you know, show up, and vice versa. It's literally been like that from day one. So the fact that we can still do it and do it at a high level and now share with, you know, the rest of the world and like the audience of the hundreds and the audience that I built with Bricks and Wood is like, it's just dope. It's, you know, I don't like to say full circle, but it's very divine, for sure.
What would you say, hallways to what?
To heads.
Hallways to heads is funny.
Yeah.
I think what Casey is saying is really just on point of everything. We, like he said earlier, we weren't really like the closest in high school, so the hallways to us was always still, you know, similar to what it is now. I'm gonna see you when I see you, say what's up, dap, all love, good fit, keep it pushing, you know, and that's still kind of like that, but now we get to do it globally. I've seen Casey in Europe, different countries. We've traveled all around the place, just all over the world, and seeing us still move the same just makes us, you know, this feels good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so go back to like those moments of you guys passing each other in the hallways of high school. What would you guys tell your younger versions of yourselves, knowing what you know now?
Keep going.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. Keep going,
Keep
bro.
going. I think we both had our head on right. We knew we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to be in fashion at that age. And I
Yeah.
think that's a very unique thing to understand that. So we both had our own goals. So I think if I'm talking to my younger self, keep going. Trust yourself as much as you can, and you got it.
Yeah.
It's
don't
really
got
just
much-
that.
Yeah, I don't got much more to add to that besides the same thing. Keep going. Keep going. If it's really what you want to do,
Yeah.
you know, just understand that everything matters. You know what I'm saying? Every nook and cranny of what you do and how you do it is important. You know, so yeah, man, just keep going. And you'll never have it all figured out. That's probably another one I'll add to that. It's a learning process every day.
Forever.
So, yeah.
Forever learning.
Yep. There you go.
And then, so how do you guys both stay inspired? Rather than in the game for a little bit.
crazy. They'll be like young OGs now.
Yeah, we got told that yesterday.
Yeah. I think I stay inspired by just trying to find, I mean, it's kind of more broad, but I think trying to just make sure I direct myself to the things that made me feel good to why I wanted to be in the game and why I wanted to do what I do. You know, just trying to find that joy over and over again. You know, that's a challenge of its own. But I think once you find it, once you find that moment that feels good, it makes the workload of things that are like more, you know, complicated or more, you have more responsibility towards is a little bit easier. And it's different for everybody, you know, obviously. So I think that's why it's like a more of a broad thing. But I think for me, it's just like continue to find that core reason, you know. And luckily enough for someone like myself and also with bro is like, we genuinely enjoy the process, you know. Damn near probably sometimes more than the result, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the work we put in is the joy, you know, the creating, the waiting for the film to come back from a campaign, waiting for the edits to come back. Like that stuff is almost way more fun than, you know, I think the result is a responsibility, right? That's like the output to the audience, to the whoever needs to approve it, to, you know, people to buy in, that kind of thing. But I think in reality, it's more so like, as much as we can keep using our minds and, you know, keep our, you know, creative juices flowing, I feel like that's like the spark, at least for me.
Staying curious is for me.
Yeah.
Things, staying curious at all levels forever and ever will keep you growing because you don't know everything and you have to know that you don't know everything. You can't walk around like you know everything. And it's just seeing that and just try to understand something new to kind of level you up or whatever your skills are at, remaining curious will only just, you know, just make them sharper. So that's easy answer for me.
Yeah.
And then, so next question. What's one thing that hasn't changed about who you are as a creator since day one? So you can think like feeling or maybe if you have a ritual before a drop, like it could be anything.
Yeah.
What was the first part?
What's one thing that hasn't changed about who you are as a creator since day one? Yeah, what's one thing that hasn't changed about who you are as a creator since day one? So kept with you always talk.
I mean, I think goes back to what keeps you inspired, right? Like remaining curious, whether it's working on something on yourself, whether you want to learn a new tool or a new way of, you know, telling a story, that all helps and it keeps you like pushing. Also working with new team members, just having a good circle around you, understanding how to delegate work, understanding that you aren't the best at everything, so having that team around you will keep you pushing that.
Yeah.
And then looking back now on those Rosewood days, what were some moments that shaped both of you as creators during that time?
There's too many.
One
I
that
go ahead.
Please
I got
go.
another moment. It's not necessarily Rosewood, but it was fresh out of high school for me. It was my first job out of high school. I was interning at Black Scale. Actually, before I even presented to him, someone was like, on the Black Scale side, was like, hey, I'm looking for an intern. And I was like, I think I got the perfect person. Mm-hmm. So it was, for that brand, it was Russ for the brand Sir. And I hit up bro like, yo, would you want to intern for Russ at Sir? Did you even know who they were at the time?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah. So obviously OG streetwear brand. But I was like, yeah, like, you know, I got my boy David, he's a photographer. He's you know, he's a student of the game, like the whole thing. Like, yo, he'll be perfect for you. David came in with Russ. I don't know if y'all do an interview, what y'all even do? Like, you could probably tell the story better than me, but we've had such a synonymous like journey because I was interning with Black Scale, he was interning at Russ, and I feel like we were just like learning and like sharing our experiences throughout that time. Like him and Russ had more of a like in the field type of internship. I was at a shop, so I was at a store where we learn how to like really run the store. But
Yeah.
David was like out and about in meetings and
Production
and doing all the like the gritty work in a different way before the store even opened, actually. So nothing too specific, but I just remember just us being like crossing paths as interns during our early ages of like, you know, just getting our feet wet in the game. So
Yeah.
that was like our intro.
And I would literally see Kacey because Sir at that time sold into Black Scale, and that's kind of how that connection happened.
Yeah.
So I'd be running around with Russ throughout the day, whether it's like dropping off orders or picking up new print samples, meeting factories, and then we'd come back to Black Scale, check out the collection. Casey's in there, chop it up with him real quick. Another like hallway catch up, like, oh, it's good, bro. You good? All right, bet. I'm gonna see you in a bit, and then just won't see him for another week. And like that's just kind of how it was. Also, like again, just similar to what high school was, but now we're actually in the field on La Brea, getting closer to what we want to do.
Yeah.
Were there any lessons that you guys learned at that time that you carry with you today?
Punctuality for me. That was always something that I was just kind of always trying to be not known for, but like, yo, he's punctual. He'll be here at 9. He'll be there at 9. Whether there's traffic or not, we'll figure it out. And I think that was something that I was taught at an early age, and I realized a lot of people aren't good at that. And then so I'm seeing that if you're not good at punctuality, it delays a lot of things that you don't really even see. So I think mine is to always just try to be on point. And I learned that at a young age because you just don't want to miss anything. You might be late 10 minutes and you miss something that you very important to whatever you're working on. And I think that matters a lot.
Yeah, I think for me, during that time, I think it's just like a matter of just how you treat your team, just like that relationship building, really being not necessarily vulnerable like an emotional way, but like just vulnerable in terms of like what's going on. Because this is like a very tight-knit, small market in the grand scheme of like business in the world. Like it's grown over the years, but at the time it was like, we kind of saw everything, the ins and outs, because, the Black Scale office was upstairs from the store. So during that time, you would like see the collections ahead of time and like, see Most Def come up there and have meetings. Like it was just like a very inspiring thing. And I feel like when you feel a part of something like that, it helps like the true camaraderie of the team and like how you guys work and how you guys feel inspired and how you guys like, keep going. So I feel like just some form of vulnerability and like, just being just, communicative about, what's going on. I think that kind of goes back to the punctuality as well.
So another question, this was out of the field a little bit. So both of you guys come from like a photo background, both photographers. How has photography shaped how you see the world today?
You can eat on that.
Everything's a movie. Honestly, yeah, like I think photography was honestly, for me, kind of natural. I was always into movies growing up, films, and like kind of always watched how you can shoot something so regular and make it look so attractive and so pretty. Like even from like a hand following a handrail, walking down the city, like if you can shoot that in a clean way, no one thought about it that way. Everyone has a human perspective. So when you try to bring a camera into the play and shooting someone else and showing a whole new perspective on someone, I think I fell in love with that. And so I try to apply that to everything, whether it's like design, whether it's product, whether it's storytelling. It's always just sharing a new perspective on something that everyone's used to seeing or used to kind of wearing. But if you add some type of new element to it from your perspective, I think that adds to it. And that's kind of how photography has helped me. Even just creating like campaigns and stuff like that. A lot of it references come from old films that I've seen, or just just new ways to tell and show something visually and empowering.
Yeah, I think for me, photography kind of like slowed things down for me a little bit. I feel like I have like a rapidly, creative brain where it's like a kind of scattered brain a little bit. So I feel like with photography, it kind of like helped me, hone in on the photo or that, that frame or those type of things. And to what bro said too, I feel like I always kind of like saw movies like actually frame by frame, so everything's kind of feel like a still photo for me, even if there's motion involved. So for me, it helped me just kind of like focus in and like be more attention to detail oriented, especially when I started shooting film, because obviously you got to minimize the mistakes. You kind of have to, be a little more critical about the shots you take and those type of things. So that easily applied to, details on a certain type of shirt, certain type of fit, fabric, those type of things. Like I kind of like honed in on a small detail that I think most people kind of overlook. So I think with photography, it kind of slowed things down and kind of like made it more consolidated and, made my focus a little bit more tunnel vision to whatever that, I guess, subject or that project is at that time. So, yeah.
Okay, Casey, this next question is for you specifically.
How many more questions there?
5,
What time is it?
2:30 or 3:19.
Okay.
How has having that foundation of the hundreds?
We're gonna do a cut real quick.
Okay.
Yep.
corner. Alright, so this question is, how has both of y'all started at the hundreds impacted, you know, the culture that both of y'all are respectively building at the individual brands now?
And then like Casey focused like more on, obviously like building a company, bricks and wood, and then David, your focus is more so on like, now that you're leading the team at the hundreds,
But it's about the hundreds though.
like how
The question.
foundations that you got.
All right, you can go first.
Yeah. I think for me, you know, my internship really lived more on the like Rosewood retail side. So just team building, knowing how to treat customers, that kind of thing. Like, again, I think that was super important. Umi was a good reflection of customer service and being a manager and being just, you know, like, I feel like, I don't know, I think, but prior to that, I had a stigma that management had to be like mean and stern and, you know, which I get, you know, in certain areas that works. But for me, I think seeing Umi be as mutual with every walk of life that came in and out of, you know, Rosewood and Fairfax was a big eye opener for me, because you can treat people like your friend even if you don't know them, and you get the results that you're looking for at a high level even without being so, I guess, hard on them at the same time. So it really helped me, you know, when I was building my team, when we opened up our store, it really helped me kind of like treat it very, you know, even playing field, fair grounds, you know, and just like a camaraderie, you know what I'm saying, like a friendship, a family kind of orientation within it. And there's pros and cons to both, but I think at the same time, like that's always like primarily, you know, number one for me is like making sure everybody feels fair, safe, having a good time, but also being able to do good work at an efficient, high level. So I think for me, when I was at the hundreds and having that like reflection of Umi was something I took into consideration for customer service through whether it's a pop-up or the actual store we had or whatever the case may be. It was like, you know, customer service on the email side, on the back end, like all that stuff went into account because I saw what the results of that would look like when you treat people, you know, kind, you know, and like I said before, you know, Fairfax specifically, you walk into some of them stores, they weren't as nice, you know, they weren't as cool. Umi stood out because not only did he look different, but he also treated you differently. And I feel like that helped the hundreds have like a certain different energy, just even though it's not too far from Fairfax, obviously within hundreds of feet. Going into the 100 store at the time was like a whole different experience than what you would get from any other shop. And that's no shade, it's just more so, again, the vibe was different. It was near an alley, it was more casual. The bench out front, you know, it was more of a hangout. It was way more welcoming, you know. So I think that was always like something that stuck with me through any type of experience that Bricks and Wood will present, and for the customer, consumer, supporter to experience as well from the other end. So, yeah.
For me, I think it kind of goes back to like the open door policy. That was big on me. That kind of stuck with me from the Hundreds Foundation, right? Like being an intern, being around at the early stages, seeing how available all the upper management was. Patrick, our creative director back then, Ben and Bobby, having that open door policy of just like, what do you want to do? How can we get you there? How can you help the team? What can we build you? How can we build you up? And I think that was always an opportunity that I saw from the hundreds, and even everyone that worked there back then, they kind of welcome you with open arms and they trust that you're in the room for a reason. So seeing that kind of grow with me as I got older, I try to kind of keep that energy alive of like, you know, the upcoming designers, upcoming photographers, people who want to get into the, you know, social media, the marketing space. My door is always open for everything. I got looked out after, and I'm gonna do the same for the next generation. I think that's something that I learned very well working with Bobby and Ben and, you know, everyone else on the team, and I want to keep that going because it's gonna be forever evolving. And you got to understand that, and you're getting older and the fashion space is only changing up every month. So how do you adjust and how do you keep up with that? And I think having new energy coming in through your doors can keep you going.
And then, so last question. Was there ever a time either you doubted that this path would work, and then maybe sharing something that like got you through
That's a good question.
Nah. It's weird to say. I say that so fast.
Nah,
But like,
that's the first thing that came to my mind. I think for me, it's like, this is like, this is what it is. Like,
This is what it is.
you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the life we chose at a young age, like he said. We understood, we were really students of it, so we've seen our favorite brands or brands we work with and people we, inspired by come up and come down and build stuff up again. So if anything, we have some form of a rubric of when times are hard that you're going to push through. It's going to be different and you got to adjust and change and things like that. But as long as that passion for what you're doing is still there, you can always find your way through the fire. You know what I'm saying? I think that, I never truly doubted much, honestly. I kind of knew, I think the hardest part was trying to like get other people to like grasp that,
Yeah.
That change sometimes. But I think at the end of the day, it was, this is this is how it goes, You're not gonna always be number one, you're not gonna always be the last either. And sometimes you probably will never either one of the two. But as long as you maintain and like, keep, taking in for how it comes and understanding that this is a part of just like the journey. And if the love for what you're doing is still there, that's why we show up every day. Because it ain't easy, it ain't easy at all.
Yeah.
It's only getting bigger and more responsible for how many more hours you put into it. But I think it's like we just understand what's at stake and we understand like what comes with it.
Yeah.
We can't just keep glorifying the good moments. It's like the real test is like, all right, the CD now, things are changing. What you gonna do? What's David's turn now? Because he's taking in the seat of like Bobby and Ben Hundreds. Those are legends in streetwear. Not, what I'm saying? Like those are legends in, those names ring bells. Now it's bro. So it's like, I can only imagine, what I'm saying? Like what that looks like.
and I think like when you say doubt, it looks differently nowadays. I think like it's imposter syndrome to an extent of like making sure you're making the right moves, thinking, you're thinking ahead, you're thinking of projects you're working on that are coming out next week, that are coming out next year, that are coming out 6 months from now, right? Like you're all over the place. So making sure you stick to the decisions you're making, feeling very sure about them. I think you can do all that and you'll still have just a little bit of that doubt because I think it's your idea and this is what you're pushing. And that's okay to have that, just as long as, like Casey said, if you're still inspired and still feeling the love of that, nothing else should really matter. Like that imposter syndrome that everyone deals with, that doubt that everyone has, you have to just really know how to take that energy, kind of ball it up and try to turn this into something positive and something creative, because at the end of the day, you believe in what you're doing and this is why we're here. And it's our job to making sure everything we do put out is digestible for y'all to understand. And I think that kind of reassures us also once it's already out in the world that people, take by it, and then that should push your doubt a little bit further down and just make you feel a little more confident with how you move.
I got one more thing. I'm proud of you, bro.
I'm proud of you.
Came a long way.
Yeah,
You came a long fucking way.
We did that.
My
We
dog.
just getting started too.
That's it. That part. Just getting started. Boom.
Easy.